Hello everyone, welcome back to Excel YouTube channel. Hope all of you are doing well. Today we are going to learn basic formula of pivot by function. Guys, very first requirement I have, if you see this data, you have to find out, product wise or country wise total amount. So, generally what happens, pivot table comes to our head when we hear such kind of group by formula. In Excel, you don't have any other alternative. But now we have a beautiful function called pivot by that will help you and get you the simulation of pivot function or pivot tables in the form of formula. Let's see how this works. So what is our requirement, guys? Product wise, country wise, total amount we have to find out. So let's see the formula called pivot by. So it got so many arguments, but super easy, guys. If you stay tuned, stay connected, I will explain one example in each, time. If you see that in each session, you will experience something new. So this is row filled. So you have to understand what you want to keep in row. Let's see product. So you can select the product and the entire range we have to select. Make sure you lock this. Though locking is not required, but make sure you lock it. It's good habit. So column filled. So you can select your column as you know that C2 through C32, but you have to lock it as we told and comma. Now value. What is value? This is the value column. You have to select this, right? And again F4. Now three things we selected and then you have to mention the formula like what you want to do, sum we want to do and see that by default you are getting this output, guys. And that's the power of pivot by function. And trust me, I challenge you, how can you generate this without pivot by function or without pivot table? You can generate by using group by function or sum if function, but you have to take this unique value, you have to use transpose function or to row function, and then you have to mention all the value and then total also you have to find out, but total is coming by default, and that's the beauty of pivot by function, guys. All right, let me show you another example, guys. Pivot by formula, group by adjacent columns. So you have these two values. So suppose we have to find out product and country wise total amount for all the sellers. So how do we do that? It's super easy, guys. Pivot by, and this is the value you have to select. Now you see that. And F4 comma, control backspace. Now column filled this, guys, and see that this is also working. And then comma. Now understand what is my value. Value is this, guys, and see that value and then this. What you want to do with this, just mention sum and see the magic, guys. Entire value we are getting. See the total also we are getting. Can you see that? This is the total, guys. And this is the power of your formula called pivot by. This entire thing, Apple, country, see that product and country, the header. You put the header, you can't put the header. You can see that, right? You can see that. Header we can't put over there. So here you can see, just understand, like you can go to filled header. If you mention one and see what happens. Nothing happens, guys. But you have to be very careful, okay? And see that if you go to that formula. Now see the formula. I tell you that. Open this and see that filled headers, comma, sum, comma. Now see that filled headers. If you just understand a number between 0 and 3 that specifies whether the header filled data has headers and whether filled header should be returned in the result. So, if you mention 3 and let's see what happens, guys. Now see that seller is coming, product country is also coming, the header we got here. Correct, you saw that. If you don't mention, by default 0 is there, and see that header will be disappear. Got it? But control Z, then header came back. I hope you are clear, guys. This is actually the data you have, and you can mention this total is also appearing over there. So this is another example. Let me show you another example. Now we are talking about group by non-adjacent columns. Wonderful. And see that pivot by function we are going to use. See product code, product wise, or you can see that product wise and seller wise. It's super easy. You can mention here choose calls function, choose call and select this entire data and see this. comma, first column and third column, which means B and D column you want to select. What is my column filled, guys? What is my column filled? Column filled is this country. You can select the country and see that F4 and comma. Now it is asking you the value. Value. What is my value? This is my value. Everyone, this is my value, right? F4. Now what you want with that? Sum I want. And simply, this is the output. I hope this is clear. So simple. Country wise, and this is how product or seller wise total sale you are getting. How beautifully the formula is getting you the output. Simple formula you have to type. Example 4, guys. Example 4 we are going to do, and let me erase it. So aggregate multiple columns we are talking about. How simple is that? Mention pivot by. Pivot by. Okay, product or country you have. So let's see, product wise and country wise we want to fetch the output. And comma, now column filled. Column filled. What column filled we have to take? Let me take B4 through B34, and let me take country as a column filled 34. Uh-huh. All right, and lock this, guys. F4 you can do, and now comma. Value you can take amount, but here is the catch. You can use, guys, H stack. Here you can mention sum and count both. Understand? Sum and count both. But where? No, we did a mistake. So here you can see quantity and amount for the time being. So again, choose calls you can mention, and you can select this entire data 1 and 3, and see that what happens. You can log this F4 and comma. What you want, guys? Function. We can mention here sum and count. Quantity sum, or maybe quantity count you want, or sum you want, like that. Or maybe let's take sum only. Sum you can take. Okay, and see that what happens. 1 minute. And see that this is how the answer look like. So if you go further, like comma, failed header you can mention 0, and see that header will come like that. Okay, if you mention 3 and see what happens, 3, and see that this is how the output looks like. So quantity amount, because 3 means we need header. Okay, quantity amount for China, India quantity amount, Mexico quantity amount, and see that, and everything is coming sum. So example 4 we have done. Example 5. Let's see how example 5 behave. Aggregate non-contiguous data. So it's very simple, guys. In choose calls 1 and 3 you can mention the same thing we did over there. Like we have done this. 1 and 3. D and F. If you see that D and F, we have done the same thing. But if you look at this, it is up to you. Maybe quantity or unit price you can do. Like without even selecting that, you can select these two guys together. See that, and down E34. Now see that what happens, guys. So quantity or unit price, you are doing that. Okay, both are clear. Example 5 is also clear. Example 6. It's so simple. Multiple aggregations you can perform. So what is the aggregation? In the H stack, you can mention count and sum, which means the first amount, and then sum. It is up to you, like count and sum. How many transactions are there? You can take that way. If you have one aggregate column, like you have here is you know uh, F column, basis F column, you want to find out total transaction and total sum. So it's all about interpretation. I hope, guys, you like today's session. If you want some more informative sessions, please share, subscribe, and love my channel. Thank you so much.